well, the next person that is going to work with you is gonna look at you a little iffy. They're gonna open both eyes, even the one that isn't working.
They don't get deals that
They can be wage slaves for a little bit, come over and make a salary and grow their brand. They can be wage slaves for a little bit. They can be wage slaves for a little bit.
Let's address this from the beginning. Wage slave, it's not racist. You're just starting out and you're going up because you need to work hard in the beginning. That's not a bad thing. So chill a little. And that is the situation we have right now. Dailywire and Steven Crowder did not agree on their business or whatever they might have tried to do together. And Steven Crowder thought it was good way to, I don't know, record one of the co-founder or the co-founders, just saying, the Jeremy dude. And it was like, yo, I'm just gonna release the conversation, how we talked. Think about it. Would you trust somebody that just did that to a friend? That friend had a friend that helped demonetize your channel when your whole channel got demonetized, and suddenly you got it back, and now you're like, well, now that Blaze kicked me out or they don't want me anymore, I'm on my own, I'm independent, I have an opportunity to make something out of myself, well, I'm going to use the friend that helped me get my channel back, his friend who has maybe more power about the contract, I'm going to record him and release it on a YouTube video. Even if we can disagree about a bunch of stuff, I would never do something like that to a friend, because the way people would see that is, I can't trust you, especially when you're desperate. And I've said it before. I don't like people that don't have self-control. And some people believe I'm an idealist, yeah. And it sounds beautiful. But I can never trust you again. The fact that before this happened, before that all this came out, they found out you made a gangster domain, like to go against Bitcoin or whatever, that you keep it safe, as if you planned this because I'm gonna do something to get you back. Well, the next person that is going to work with you is gonna look at you a little iffy. They're gonna open both eyes, even the one that isn't working. You have to be careful.
This week, Steven attacked Jeremy Boring and attacked the Daily Wire and suggested that if we had essentially offered him an enslavement contract that would have robbed him of all of his freedom and made him subject to the whims of big tech and all the rest of this kind of bullshit. And it's just not true. Jeremy, unlike Steven, read the entire text of the term sheet on the air and goes through it piece by piece and explains exactly how it works. And in short, all the contract says is, we are offering you this gigantic sum of money, and if you start to lose money for the company and for yourself because you lose YouTube, for example, then we both lose money, so you lose some money. Because this is typically how contracts work. On this show, for example, if I lose advertisers and the revenue of the show goes down, then I lose revenue personally because the revenue of the show has gone down.
And I don't see a problem with that. If I hire somebody for 50 million to do a specific thing, and I have, I don't know, brands and all these things that has to be promoted, and I also have to maintain YouTube happy with my content so that we agree on specific things, yes, I'm making my money through YouTube. So you need to make sure that you make money too by not breaking the rules. Because if you break the rules and you don't get money, why the heck am I paying you? Why am I helping you with production and everything if you're not doing the thing that we need you to do? Be a simple, chill, maybe Republican conservative, but make content that produces money. Even if you reach the boundaries, there are certain boundaries that maybe Dailywire might be like, yo, I don't want you to do that. I don't want your video to get demonetized. I don't want you to go in a specific direction that YouTube is, we need to cancel Steven Crowder. Wait, you're part of the Daily Wire? Hey, big Daily Wire, why would you promote this person? You know, if you think big tech is gangster, you can't ally with somebody that is a rebel in the system and you're a rebel outside the system. And you're gonna come in, I'm gonna be a rebel the way I want. Well, another rebel is gonna be like, well, we just disagree. I don't think that's a problem. I do think it's a problem that you're like, hey people, you remember the rebel in the system? They're the system too. I'm like, yo, you gotta chill with that. that you're going a little too far. Because the fact that they started all on them by themselves and they calculate everything and they don't just make a YouTube like me talk pam pim pam boom and in the moment like most Steven Crowder shows sometimes. They actually plan different setting, different iPad beam. It's more robotic, true. But this isn't like a Timcast show.
It's kind of unreal to me that the only thing these people can still talk about is the money. The conversation was about conservatism, the movement, and big tech. They keep talking about money. I'm talking about a country. I'm talking about a movement. I'm talking about making a difference. It's not about the money, and Jeremy and the Daily Wire know that. My only demand was their word, and not even for me, but for other people coming up facing these kinds of contracts.
Let's say it's a kid who comes in with 500,000 YouTube subscribers or something like that, 100,000. Let's say some other kid you're paying 6 figures to come in and do it. There's not the penalty of the demonetization or if they're removed from iTunes, Apple, YouTube.
Yeah, sure there would be.
I'm not saying that it doesn't piss me off. I agree with him. I don't like the idea that big tech thinks they can control everything and you have to change the way you speak, especially when you do something very, very, very public, right? Look what happened to Joe Rogan. He had to go to somewhere else, and the fact that he went to somewhere else, he made so much money, they were like, no, we're not gonna cancel him. It's just one person talking. But when you're a small person, like me, for example, on my YouTube channel, I have to be careful what I do. Well, all I think is, no, YouTube, you care about your brand too. You don't want your brand to disappear. Dailywire doesn't want the brand to disappear. So I think at least still, Steven Crowder, even if you're right and I agree with you, a brand maybe does not want to be related with the way the style that you speak. Maybe that is bad for business in general.
November 14th or thereabouts, we decided that we couldn't meet his demands. That his demands were not rational in business terms, that he wanted too much money, and all the rest of it. So we let him know, no hard feelings. We're still friends, just like we do in every contract negotiation. As Tim Pool said on his show last night, we've had contract negotiations with Tim, and we disagreed, and we went our separate ways, and we still like Tim. Tim still likes us, and all the rest. Okay, so November 14th or thereabouts, we told Steven that we couldn't meet his demands. Fast forward another month, December 12th, he registered the site Stop Big Con. Okay, that's when he registered it. Remember, October 5th is when he received the terms. November 14th is when we said we could not meet his demands. December 12th is when he registered Stop Big Con because he knew that 3 days later he was going to be announcing that he was leaving the Blaze. He needed a plan, and attacking us was the plan. December 15th, he announced he was leaving the Blaze. A month after that, he texted Jeremy in friendly fashion to ask if they could talk. On January 9th, he called Jeremy and proceeded to tape him. Without permission, without Jeremy's knowledge, he proceeded to tape a person who was supposedly his friend.
And I just think that's so wrong. I mean, I can understand your frustration and the idea about if it's about money or not. Okay, you can just make your decision and we can see what's going to happen. I just want to focus on the idea that I understand that even if you don't like big tech, it's still big tech. If big tech says, I want to do this, I don't want to talk like this, or I have a bigger sponsor that doesn't want you to say that, it's big tech. If you don't like it, it's like somebody says, well, go on Rumble, go somewhere else. Well, maybe this platform has more reach right now. If you care about that because you care about the message, you're going to go on the platform that lets you release your message in the best way you can without breaking the rules.
What I'm talking about is you're describing a model for everyone, not just, let's get rid of me here. Everyone, if there's a penalty for being demonetized on YouTube, because your business model requires that be a huge component of it, you need to change your business model or this movement cannot work, Jeremy. I can't imagine my show trying to come up and be beholden to YouTube advertiser guidelines, let alone, I mean, honestly, being beholden from a conservative entity with hard strikes, right, being removed, but let alone being advertiser friendly. We know how broad those guidelines are. They might as well just read, don't say anything offensive, and they change them at the drop of a hat.
I'm not suggesting that the guidelines aren't terrible. I'm suggesting that If making money off of those platforms is part of how you're justifying the salary you're paying someone, then or the fee I keep saying salary, the fee you're paying someone, then when those go away, everybody loses money. You can't pay the same amount with less revenue.
How about you create a different business model?
So I think you get the gist what is happening in this whole situation. Do I think a guideline in a more, I'll just wing it and chill it like Tim Pool and maybe have a Patreon on the side? Does that work? Yes, it works. But you can't have a person that reach an amount of money. Advertisers, they promote so much more than others. Look at Brett Cooper. Just started off promotion, production, bada bee, made 1 million channels super freaking quick. About a person obviously that never existed, but was very charming. They saw this, we can do this, pim pam boom, let's go. It worked. They know what they're doing. It might feel a little robotic. They got all the perfect memes compared to me that I use over and over, but they're like switch, new. I copy them from them. I don't have that quality of production behind me. That's it. You want to do it in a way? I get it. But the idea that you actually create like a civil war, as if this might be normal in the future, I'm like, yo, if I need to produce something when people are helping me to produce it, I can make a contract with you. But if it's a contract for a lot of money, advertise money that's going to you, that the company uses to pay you, I need to make sure that whatever we get, we're gonna get money. Because even if he says something wrong and the video get demonetized, Dailywire itself can they can lose their, did I lose the word? Advertiser. It just disappeared. But as you can see, I wing it. Dailywire is not a winger. Okay, wait, that went in a very bad, you just need to change the word or two. Woo. But anyway, man, I think you guys understand what I mean. Let me know what you guys think about situation. But honestly, it did make me very sad. I never expected this to happen. Certain people did, like Lauren Chan, she did mention it. But hey man, life is good. And yeah, I just hope they can resolve it in a way that they can be respectable friends. But with that phone call, they're gonna need a lot of healing. Well, let me know, like, share, hit the bell notification, and see you guys next time. Peace.